Street and stimulus. If you turned on any major broadcast channel covering business news, business channels today, every single word was stimulus. Every single word was stimulus. And when the city of Chicago announced a lockdown, every third word after that was stimulus. The concern was, where's the stimulus when there's a lockdown? Where's the stimulus when there is a curfew? And now, as much of the nation grapples with the issue of lockdowns, whether it's Indianapolis or El Paso or Newark or Chicago, dealing with lockdowns or dealing with curfews, the question is, how soon will the stimulus come? Wall Street's very loud and clear, and their focus remains on stimulus, and their push for stimulus is even louder than before. It's why their focus is the same as the Purple Power, and why stimulus is coming right away. This is incredible, great news, and they're keeping it front page and the front page only. And this is Street and Stimulus. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Street and Stimulus, in which we look at what Wall Street's saying about stimulus, how they're pushing to get it passed, and how their policies and their focus remain aligned with the views of this channel. It's incredible, great news tonight, as Wall Street is singularly focusing on one subject and one subject only: stimulus. And it's paired now with the concerns about lockdowns. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please do, because we're keeping you informed by the minute, by the hour. There's breaking details every single hour of the day, and that's why there's so many recordings, to keep you up to date when something happens. Also, like this video. It's really helping with the algorithm, so the videos appear higher in the rankings. In this video, I'll be going over what Wall Street said today, and what they said as soon as Chicago announced a lockdown. Let me get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that Wall Street is very jittery about a lot of lockdowns, the surges in COVID-19 cases, and the concerns about stimulus. The message is very clear today. And their message on a Thursday is so dramatically different than their message on Monday and Tuesday. On Monday and Tuesday, Wall Street was ecstatic about news about a vaccine. And I told you, give it a second, because Wall Street's going to sit back and say, but wait a second, there's a surging number of COVID-19 cases. When the vaccine was announced by Pfizer, Wall Street traded up 1,000 points. And I told you at the time, Wall Street's going to sit back and then say, wait a second, how about the months until we get the vaccine? And now we know the situation. The situation is that millions of Americans won't see that vaccine anywhere in distribution until April. And now you need stimulus right now. You've needed stimulus since March all the way up to the present. You have not been paid stimulus, and now you're facing new lockdowns, new surges of COVID cases, and new curfews, and you need stimulus to get through that as well. So what does Wall Street say about it? Pass the stimulus right now. You can't put this country on lockdown, curfews, or any version of it, whether you do it on a city or county level, if they don't have stimulus. It literally is catastrophic to the U.S. economy. And why it's so important is because lockdowns will be more than a week. In Europe, when we talk about lockdowns, we talk about Germany, France, or Italy. They're talking about lockdowns for 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. Or they're talking about lockdowns from now to, middle of December. And then suddenly they're lifted right before Christmas time. In the United States, the concern is that the lockdowns could go a while. And the lockdowns could continue for a while. Earlier today, Joe Biden, the president-elect, one of his top COVID advisors, said in a public statement that if we hadn't went on lockdown for 4 to 6 weeks, we could do it and really crush this. Why didn't I say crush the virus? Smash the virus. Does that expression? This is smash the virus. If we prepaid the American people with stimulus. He said that. Prepay them with unemployment and FPUC and all these things, and get it in their hands, and then say, hey, we're going on lockdown. Everyone get ready. Let's go in 4 to 6 weeks. See you in 4 to 6 weeks. You have the money, and check back with us. And he said we would absolutely kill this virus like you've never seen it killed. That's incredible great news. The great news, however, is that that is not the plan in place. The plan in place is nothing. The plan in place is that surging cases are growing and that the growing number of cases is causing lockdowns. It was about, what was it, 2 weeks ago that I said we were at 70,000 cases and we are going to 83,000. And then when we went to 85,000 cases, Wall Street crashed. Then, around election day, I said, hey, we're heading to 100,000. And we were going up about 10,000 per day. Now we're at 144,000, and it looks like we're going up 10,000 every half day approximately. The concern is that the number is going to keep on increasing because there's nothing preventing the number from going out of control. And as the number goes out of control, what will happen? Dr. Scott Gottlieb believes that the lockdowns won't come now. He believes lockdowns will come in March. I don't think that's true. I think lockdowns are going to come sooner rather than later. And let me give you the time frame first so you understand the impact of stimulus. Most cities, for example, in Los Angeles, are at the final level before a curfew. And when a curfew is announced, then how many weeks until a lockdown? Well, in Chicago, if you use that as a reference point, Chicago's duration between curfew and lockdown is about a week and a half. They went on curfew when they're at a 7.5% infection rate and said, hey, if we're on lockdown at 8%, if we're at 8%, we're going on lockdown. Well, it took about a week and a half to get that to go up 1 percentage point. So you should, in essence, potentially see yourself going on a lockdown if you see 2 weeks after your city or county announces a curfew. And that's the concern. Stimulus is needed now because we're in November and you need that stimulus going forward. And so how quickly could the stimulus go out? How fast could it land? And when could it get passed? And what are we talking about? Ultimately, people are asking when. And the question is really hard to answer because Congress is being inconsistent and is dealing with a lot of petty partisan battles. And those battles seem to ramp up by the minute. One day we're at one stage with these people, and the next day they're dealing with another stage. And part of this is gauged by something that has nothing to do with any of us. Georgia. There's 2 Georgia Senate seats that are up for a runoff in January. And those 2 Georgia Senate seats would determine whether the Senate goes Democratic or Republican if both are voted the same way. If both Georgia Senate seats goes Democrat, the Senate goes Democrat. If it only takes 1 seat to go Republican for the Senate to remain Republican. And with that concern, both parties are becoming partisan again. They're becoming partisan at our expense for the umpteenth time, and it's quite disgraceful. And ultimately, the concern is, when will this stop? Joe Biden has called for unanimity and nonpartisan passage of bills. And today, the ultimate temple of doom did the exact opposite. Said, do exactly my way or the highway. And then her colleague, Chuck Schumer, said, you lost the election. Well, no. That's not what happened. The Senate was retained by the GOP. You lost, Chuck. And that type of bickering doesn't work. And that makes Wall Street jittery. Wall Street doesn't like it as much as you don't like it. They want the stimulus to go out right now. And when they look at what Congress is doing, they're not pleased as much as you're not pleased. Congress has yet to go from point A to point B in understanding to stop the bickering. Joe Biden, less than a week ago, said it needs to be done by bipartisanship. Problem Solvers Bill. Lindsey Graham, I do the Problem Solvers Bill. Mitch McConnell, I'll do the Problem Solvers Bill. Purple Power, do the Problem Solvers Bill. Purple Power, we'll do better than the Problem Solvers Bill. We'll take out the 2 stimulus checks. We'll reduce the Problem Solvers Bill to $1 trillion. That's even better for you, Mitch. We'll reduce it to $900 billion. And you can repurpose the CARES Act 1 money and send that out as a stimulus check. Work? Absolutely. How about everyone else? Well, some people want a book deal. Some people want a speaking engagement. Some people want to appear in Colbert and The View by talking about, I need all this other stuff, of which most of it is not even agreed upon by the Biden administration. Most of which doesn't even include stuff that the Biden administration wants to have in there. And you see that's where we're going. So ultimately, the push of this channel is the same push of the street. Wall Street believes stimulus is coming. top executives, whether it's the McDonald's head or the head of Box.com, who appeared on CNBC this afternoon, said stimulus is coming. It has to come. You can't survive without stimulus. It's without a question it's coming. The nuances of it are the big issue. And that's where you got to remain focused. The spirit of this channel has been pushing. And what I want to keep you focused on and positive about this is pushing. The reason what Purple Power worked is because it embodied the spirit of what this channel was before Purple Power. It was pushing to get people EIDL loan and EIDL grants they had not gotten. They had not gotten money, and they qualified for the money. They applied for the money. They didn't get it. Now you may say, okay, why did that happen? Because it's government. Government gets messed up. I had a viewer this morning say, I applied for unemployment assistance nearly 5 months ago. I haven't gotten it, I think. I said, what have you done? I called one time. One time. Calling one time because you haven't gotten your unemployment benefits for 5 months is not pushing. That's rolling over. How about sitting and saying, I'll just wait for a check to land in my bank account for a stimulus check? That doesn't work, because ultimately there's one person out there, person with that San Francisco hairstyle, that may not even want to give you a stimulus check or potentially just $500 for 8 months. Can you imagine going on a lockdown now and going on a lockdown for 3 more months, and she wants to give you a $500 stimulus check but wants to give the Department of Treasury a salary raise when they already have a job and they're getting 6 figures a year? You wouldn't be happy with that? I don't. So ultimately, Purple Power, you got to step up. You got to be pushing, because people won't give you things if you don't ask for it. This is a country in which things aren't given very easily, and sometimes we have to be very louder than we even want to be. Sometimes we have to be more adamant, more pushing, and more aggressive than we ever want to be. And when I recorded those EIDL loan videos at the time, back in April and May, I literally was telling viewers, you need to be on the phone with SBA every single day, saying, what's going on with my loan? What's going on with my grant? Call Tier 2, get them on the phone. Wake up early, call them on the phone. I had some viewers say, I just call in the middle of the day and I'm on hold for 10 minutes, I just give up. No, you get up early. You get up early and you call. And that's what worked. That's what worked, because ultimately viewers did the push. They did the push, they got the stimulus, they got the EIDL grant, and they got the EIDL loan. That's the spirit of this channel. And as Street says, stimulus is coming. The Street says the stimulus is coming. And as they push in their regard, you keep pushing as well. Go to the front of the channel, subscribe, because together we're going to get through this on our own and as a family. Also like this video, subscribe and like this video. Coming up next is Check on Evenings LA, followed by Purple Power Live. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and save LA for more.